Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shah, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shah, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shah, Barakatha Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rekak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. And the sincere Akim, pushing his word, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. My brother Mayim, coming to you with a short lesson on, the gun violence epidemic that's plaguing Babylon. And it's all scriptural. And during these end times, the violence is going to increase, the murder rate is going to increase. All evils are going to increase. I stumbled across an article today, so I'm gonna read a little bit of it, and then I'm gonna go into a few scriptures explaining biblically, what's going on. It says, ABC News: cities across U.S. rocked by Memorial Day weekend shootings. More than 40 people were shot in Philadelphia, 14 dead. Now, I reside in the city of Philadelphia, the city of no brotherly love. So I have to, navigate my way through, the inner city and escape the violence. And a lot of this violence happens because most of our children and adults here in Philadelphia, are on some kind of pharmaceutical drug, whether it be pharmaceutical weed prescribed. They have stores here in Philadelphia where you can purchase marijuana, or heroin. They got a crazy heroin epidemic in Kensington, where mainly low-level Edomites, are subjected to being heroin addicts. The GMOs, the music is poison in itself. If you listening to rap music, that drill music, and it don't give you a headache, then you in the wrong spirit. So it's a combination of pharmaceutical drugs, heroin, the music, the food, as the reason, Jake is going crazy out here. It says, even as the first funerals of the 21 victims of UVLAD, Texas school shootings were commencing, gunfire continues to wreak havoc across the United States over the Memorial Day weekend as police in 8 major cities investigate incidents in which 3 or more people were shot, including 16 children. So a child is considered somebody under 18. And when I was younger, the playgrounds were filled with Jake wanting to be Michael Jordan, and Jake wanting to be LeBron James, and Jake wanting to be Kobe Bryant. Now when you ride past these playgrounds, nobody's playing basketball no more. Everybody got a gun, and they bloodthirsty because one of their friends got killed. So they got their revenge demon on them. The scriptures say, "Render not evil for evil." So they got the revenge demon on them. So now it's just they just bloodthirsty. The gun violence was especially acute in Philadelphia and Chicago, where police departments in both cities dispatched officers to more than 40 shootings between Friday afternoon and Monday night. 40 shootings. There's more people that die here in Babylon than in Iraq and Afghanistan. We living in a war zone, an active war zone. According to Gun Violence Archives, a website that track of shootings across the country, there have been 17 episodes across the nation in which 4 or more people have been shot since the UVLAD mass shootings on May 24th. 17 episodes in which 4 or more people have been shot. So that's like a mass shooting. 17 mass shootings ever since the shootings that happened in Texas. That's crazy. And it's all Jake. You know? At least 14 people, including a 9-year-old boy and his father, were killed in Philadelphia over the holiday weekend. A 9-year-old boy was killed alongside his father in Philadelphia. Philadelphia has already recorded 209 homicides this year, just 3 less than at this time in 2021, a year that saw a record of 562 homicides. A record of 562 homicides. Probably 90% of them was Jake, according to Philadelphia Police Department crime statistics. Among those killed this weekend in Philadelphia were 37-year-old Gerald Parks and his 9-year-old son, Jamal. Police said the father and son had just arrived home in the city's Wissinoming section Sunday night when a barrage of gunfire erupted. Wow. So, you know, they don't care if you old or young, you know. And I used to hear people saying bullets don't have no names. Well, bullets do have names on them. You know, a bird don't fall to the ground without the Lord knowing, which means that, you know, he is the author of life and death. And anybody that come here, you know, his signature is on it, and anybody leave, his signature is on it. So that 9-year-old boy and his 37-year-old father, that was their judgment, you know. So I'm gonna go into Matthew 24 verse 12. Matter of fact, no, Matthew 10 verse 35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's foe should be there of his own household. A lot of these times, you know, the violence that happens in these communities, it be amongst people that grew up with each other and consider themselves family. You know, because we live in a tight-knit community where you basically living on top of each other. So if a person live 1 block away from you, you know, you probably 9 times out of 10 you probably played basketball with him or football with him, or you ate over his house, or you know, they all went and played in the park. And once y'all get older, you know, y'all at odds with each other. But that's all the Lord. You know, the Lord said, "For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's foe shall be they of his own household." So now we see why our communities are basically, you know, just open war zones. You know, because it's all the Lord's doing. It's all the part of the Lord's plan. And let me go to 1 Peter 4 verse 17. First Peter 4 verse 17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Heavenly Father. And who is the house of the Heavenly Father? The Israelites. Yasharallah. He Prince Power. You know, and with that, what's that judgment? Mass shootings. You know, and all the shootings that happen, you know, the major shootings that happen, Jake was the face of it. Whether it be in Buffalo, Texas, Chicago, Philadelphia, you know, anywhere in Babylon, Jake is going to be the face of all abominable acts. And it's just the beginning of, you know, the summer. And there's more to come. This is just the beginning, you know. And if it first begin at us, what shall be the end? And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Heavenly Father? You know, they through too. You know, but he gonna start judging his house first. You know, because that's all he really care about. You know, and I'm gonna go to Matthew 24 verse 12. Matthew 24 verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. You know, iniquity is sin upon sin. And when you look at the inner cities, you know, Jake take pride in and being a demon. You know, Jake take pride in committing adultery and fornication. You know, Jake take pride in doing wrong. You know, the upstanding citizens, or so-called upstanding citizens in the inner cities, are disrespected and looked at as, you know, weaklings. But the top dogs and the top demons and the people that, you know, get fear and respected in the communities are the ones that, you know, the recidivists, the ones that go in and out of prison for long periods of times and some short periods of times. You know, they the ones that's looked up to in our community, the ones that commit the most sin. Yeah, I'm gonna go to 2nd Esdras 8 verse 50. Second Esdras 8 verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that dwell in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. When you look at the Israelite communities here in Babylon, it's nothing but misery out there. And it's the latter time, and it's going to get worse, because it's so much pride going on out there. Don't nobody turn to the Lord for help. Don't nobody cry to the Lord. Don't nobody pray. You know, everybody thinking that they could do everything on their own. You know, and it's miserable out there. You know, our women are brute beasts. You know, I drive trucks for a living. I go from commercial, residential, and industrial businesses all throughout the tri-state. And I just see nothing. When I come in contact with Jake women, man, they always got attitudes. You know? So, the violence is going to increase more. There's going to be more bloodshed. It's going to be more misery. You know, but the men of the Lord, you know, we're going to lean on the Lord and pray, you know, that he spares from judgment, so that we can endure to the end, you know, and be deemed worthy to stand in the midst of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So I pray and I hope that this lesson was edifying. Till the next time, Shalom.